quite a few slides because I really want to have time at the end for the panel discussion to happen. The next project is about air pollution and health. It's the Healthy Air Project, which is funded by Asthma Australia. And the aim is to develop advice for people with asthma, how to deal with air pollution in their environment and how to protect their health. This is part of under the umbrella of the HEAL network. And also we have a twin project in Alice Springs led by Dr. Supriya Matthew, the Erin Alice project, and Supriya will talk, and Lisa will talk about this project shortly. I would like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the beautiful logos we have for HEAL and also for the previous project, the C4HEAL project. You might have seen the lotus flower with Aboriginal design. So these logos are designed by an Aboriginal artist, Tala Laurie, who works with us, works with Veronica, and I would really like to acknowledge her contribution to the network through her beautiful artwork. Yeah. So, as always, we pay our respects to our Aboriginal collaborators and elders in the countries where we live and work. And we've seen these dramatic pictures from bushfires generating a lot of smoke. I would like to highlight that this smoke can travel hundreds of kilometers. Air pollution doesn't recognize borders. It can affect communities far away from the fire front and for prolonged periods of time. And that is causing a problem. Currently, we know that air pollution from all sources is a big killer, is an invisible killer. It's responsible for around 7 million deaths every year across the world. So it's a huge impact on public health and population health and well-being. Around 4 million deaths are from outdoor air pollution, and around 3 million deaths every year are from household air pollution. That means indoor air pollution, mainly from solid fuel burning for cooking and heating in low and middle income countries like India, Sub-Saharan Africa, Latin America, and China. You can see on the map that most of these deaths occur in South Asia, India, and China, and also in Sub-Saharan Africa. Cities are growing very fast, and they're very polluted because of inefficient energy generation systems and road transport systems, and also household energy. You can see here the percentage of deaths attributable to air pollution across the world. Australia here looks good. Only 2% of total mortality in Australia is attributable to air pollution. It's not trivial. 2% translates into 2,600 deaths every year. So it is still a substantial impact, and this is about anthropogenic. It's a human-made pollution. It doesn't take into account natural sources. This is the different endpoints related to air pollution. We can see that 21% of death due to pneumonia globally are due to air pollution. That affects young children mainly in low and middle income countries. 20% of strokes, 34% of ischemic heart disease, 90% of COPD, and 7% of lung cancer. So air pollution affects population health across different outcomes. It mainly affects children, women, outdoor workers, and people with pre-existing illness. So it exacerbates health inequalities, exacerbates problems which are underlying our society and structural inequities. We'll skip a couple of slides. So this is the kind of advice which is made available by the NT government for people in sensitive groups, but also for the general population, what people can do when there is air pollution from a bushfire, from any other sources, like staying indoors, using face masks or air purifiers, etc. So there is some practical advice, but what we highlight in our research is that this advice sometimes is not sufficiently nuanced, it's not sufficiently tailored for people with asthma, for people with existing illness, pregnant women or for elderly people. So we need more specific and nuanced advice for these sensitive population groups. And here we see the sources of air pollution. Air pollution comes from many sources, from industry, energy generation from fossil fuels, transport, agricultural practices, waste management, and household energy production. The main indicator for air pollution is PM2.5. You might have heard of that. It's fine particles, very small, 2.5 microns in diameter, 50 times smaller than the human hair. And these particles can penetrate deep into the respiratory system. The smaller ones can translocate into the bloodstream and cause systemic inflammation. And there's now emerging evidence that fine particles can also affect brain health and exacerbate cognitive decline in population groups. So it is a huge factor of a huge risk factor which affects many aspects of our health and well-being. It affects people with asthma, and work closely with Asthma Australia. And of course, PM2.5 is a key indicator of air pollution and something that triggers asthma attacks and exacerbations. What people may not be fully aware of is that a lot of air pollution in Australia comes from wood heaters. So when we talk about air pollution, we think industry, transport, bushfires, but a lot of that comes from domestic sources, from inefficient wood fires and wood heaters in our communities. And this is something that affects neighborhoods, affects indoor air quality, and it's very prominent in wintertime in cities like Canberra, where I live and work, in New South Wales, also in Victoria, but across the country. Diesel generators is a problem. This is a malfunction diesel generator. You can see how much diesel smoke can be emitted from these generators, and of course, it's a huge problem for communities which rely on this polluting and expensive source of energy. Prescribed burning that generates also a lot of smoke. You know, there's a big debate whether this is the best way of managing landscape fire and reducing the risk. Campfires, so this is incidental, much less frequent exposure, and of course it has the traditional cultural meaning and significance. But also we need to be aware of smoke exposure when we inhale smoke from campfires. And finally, talking about solutions, there is a wide range of solutions: sustainable transport, clean energy, also clean household energy, and all these solutions can provide multiple benefits for health, as we saw this morning, in terms of more active transport, more walking and cycling instead of sitting in a car, clean energy that helps many aspects of community life, and also healthier and cleaner power generation. And of course, reducing emissions from the agricultural and farming sector. This is the concept and background of the Healthier project, which focuses on communication, promoting clean energy solutions, clean air solutions, and developing advice for Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people affected by air pollution, but also people from cultural and linguistically diverse communities, specifically from Arabic-speaking communities in ACT and New South Wales. I won't go into detail about the project. It's a 2-year project. We're now at an early stage of developing the frameworks and applying for ethics approval to talk to communities and have these focus group discussions to identify how we can best tailor our advice for people at the receiving end of air pollution. Some examples here of work we've done previously in this space. You see these fact sheets translating to multiple languages, including Arabic. And some work we did to develop materials for children affected by air pollution. So online, this is the aerator and an application, a mobile application for air pollution, which is one of the best ones in Australia. And finally, to acknowledge our funders for this study. And